surrounded by people who love you and still feel completely alone. You go out with friends, you laugh, you post the photos. Everyone thinks you're fine. But the second you're back home, alone in your room, that empty feeling comes back, heavier than before. Here's the disturbing part. This isn't about how many friends you have. It's not even about how close you are to them. It's about something I call the witness gap. And once you understand it, you'll never look at your own friendships the same way again. By the way, if you like unpacking the hidden side of your own mind, hit subscribe now, because this channel breaks down exactly how your brain works against you every single week.
We've been taught that loneliness is a numbers problem. Not enough friends? Get more friends. Simple, right? But here's something strange. People with 10 close friends can feel lonelier than people with 2. Loneliness isn't about head count. It's about what psychologists call felt understanding. Whether you believe another person actually sees the real version of you, not the version you perform. I want to walk you through 4 patterns that explain this. Patterns I've pieced together from research on self-disclosure, identity, and relationships. And I promise, by the end, at least one of these is going to describe your life uncomfortably well. Reason number 1, what I call the witness gap. Here's the idea. Every human being has an internal narrative, a private, ongoing story of who they are, what they've been through, what they're proud of, what they're scared of. Most friendships only share the highlights of that story, the funny anecdotes, the surface opinions, the group jokes. The deeper narrative, the one that actually defines you, often goes completely unheard. I remember a friend I used to see almost every week for 2 years. We had inside jokes, we texted constantly. But one night, I mentioned something I was genuinely struggling with, and I watched his face go blank. He had no idea that side of me even existed. 2 years of friendship, and he had never actually witnessed who I was underneath the jokes.
That's the witness gap. Your mind doesn't measure connection by how much time you spend with someone. It measures connection by how much of your inner story someone has actually witnessed. If nobody has witnessed your inner story, your brain registers that as isolation, even in a room full of laughing friends. Reason number 2, social masking fatigue. Every social interaction requires a small performance, adjusting your tone, your energy, your opinions to fit the group. Psychologists call this impression management, and it's completely normal in small doses. But here's what rarely gets talked about. The more masks you wear across different friend groups, the more your brain starts losing track of which version of you is actually real. Some researchers describe this drift as identity fragmentation, and it's become far more common now that we manage separate identities across Instagram, group chats, work Slack, and real life, often within the same hour. When your identity is split across 5 different performances, there's no single space left where you get to just exist, unfiltered. And a mind that never gets to exist unfiltered will always feel alone, no matter who's around it. Reason number 3, what I call the proximity trap. We tend to keep the friends who are simply convenient, the ones from school, from work, from the neighborhood, rather than the ones who actually match how we've grown. Psychologists have a real term for part of this: relational inertia, the tendency to stay connected out of history rather than alignment. Here's the twist. These convenient friendships can actually increase loneliness over time because they create the illusion of connection while quietly blocking the search for real connection. Your brain sees, I have plans this weekend, and concludes, I'm not lonely. But comfort isn't the same as understanding. The more your comfortable friendships fill your calendar, the less room you have left to find people who actually match who you've become. You're not lonely despite having friends. Sometimes you're lonely because the friends you kept were chosen by convenience, not by depth. And reason number 4,
the one I think matters most, what I call the mirror problem. Research on close relationships shows we don't just want to be liked, we want to be reflected accurately. We want someone's reaction to confirm that the way we see ourselves is real. But most friendships only reflect the parts of you that are easy, funny, agreeable. If a friend only ever reflects your fun side back at you, the deeper, more complicated parts of you, your ambition, your fears, your contradictions, never get confirmed by anyone. And an identity that's never fully confirmed by another person starts to feel unstable. An unstable identity, at its core, feels alone. That's why some of the loneliest people are the ones everyone calls the fun one. They've been so well liked for one version of themselves that the rest of them has never been mirrored back. So loneliness with friends isn't a contradiction. It's actually the logical outcome of 4 patterns: an unwitnessed inner story, a fragmented identity, convenience over alignment, and a mirror that only reflects half of you. The fix isn't more friends. It's fewer, deeper witnesses, people you let see the parts of you that don't perform well in a group chat. Start with one person this week. Let them see one unfiltered thing about you. Not the funny version, the real one. That single act does more for loneliness than 10 new friendships ever could. If this made you see your own friendships differently, that's exactly what this channel is for. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.